today I'm preparing some food to put in the freezer for winter. Now I'm doing this very simply by using what I have already got in the freezer, selecting a load of things and putting them all together, cooking them, and then I can refreeze it. Obviously you can't defrost raw meat and then refreeze it without cooking it first. I'm using some homemade chicken stock, which I get by boiling up the carcass and the skin of our chickens, and a selection of beans to make a 3 or 4 bean casserole, depending on what I can find in the freezer. So in the pan I have got a block of chicken stock, which was frozen, so I'm just putting it in the pan, letting it defrost in the pan. And then I've got masses of beans from the freezer that I've harvested this year, so plenty of them, and they, sorry about the noise, and they are these are white kidney beans from our runner bean plants, Greek gigantes beans, borlotti beans, and a few more borlottis. The colour is just so lovely, isn't it? And some broad beans. This is beautiful chicken stock that I made previously. So this is how hard it is. Beans go in. I didn't open the bag. Oh dear. Beans go in, and finally the Greek gigantes. And I keep all the bags, and I will reuse them because there's absolutely no point in filling up landfill with plastic when it can be reused. So next stage is then to pop a lid on this and leave it to thaw down and then to cook. Okay, so about 10-15 minutes later, I just want to show you where we've got to. So the beans are starting to defrost. Still got a solid block there, but nearly all the rest of them have at least defrosted. So I'm going to move that solid block down to the middle and put the lid back on. It's not rocket science, this cooking really at all. Put the lid back on and leave it for another 10 minutes. Well, it's only been about 5 minutes, but this has now come up to the boil. And try not to do what I just did, which is pour water all over the place. Okay, so this is now it's boiling quite rapidly, and I can see that these beans are very almost cooked. Remember, these were already partly cooked, so they were blanched quite well before they went into the freezer, so they aren't going to need as long as you might imagine to become really soft. But I have just tested. That's one of the gigantes beans. Yummy. And I'm going to check a borlotti bean. Okay, now I can feel as I'm pressing that, although that's crushed, that's still quite powdery, so that's not quite ready. And now is a good time to check for taste as well. Okay, that is so chickeny. It's fabulous. So I'm going to turn the heat down, so the heat is now on low, really low, and obviously with the lid back on. That will more than simmer away for a little while. And the last thing I'm going to add, because I like it, is some thyme. But you can add, you can add whichever herbs you like. I know that marjoram, oregano, even basil are quite nice in it. But I have a real thing about thyme at the moment. And the other thing I'm going to add, just a tiny bit of, is a dash of lemon juice. Now I don't have any fresh lemons, so I'm going to add a tiny bit of juice from a bottle, which I don't really like doing, but the only reason I'm adding the lemon is because I've got the thyme and I like the combination of chicken and lemon and thyme together. So let me check the flavour one more time. Yeah, that's going to be lovely. So, lid on, temperature really low. I'm just going to leave that to simmer very gently for about another 5 to 10 minutes. So here we go. Here is my 4 bean casserole, and I'm going to let this cool down a bit and then get it into containers to go back into the freezer. And we serve this as an accompaniment to meat. We can add diced meat to it to make a stew, but having this ready and prepared and sitting there just to defrost is an absolute boon in the winter. When I am not feeling up to cooking, it means Mr. J can just get some stuff out of the freezer, and there's a meal or there's an accompaniment to some meat just ready. Well, I hope that was a useful idea. We really like it, and you may too. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's going to be a good one for you, and I also hope you can join me again tomorrow.